Morning, Jonathan. Yeah, we spoke yesterday, if you remember. Yeah, we're supposed to start at 9, and you're the only ones joined so far. So that's interesting. We tried to provide the platform servicing, training, and exercise calculator, which is vitally important to trading. It's surprising how few people actually join it. It's free, and then even participate. So, yeah, well, you're a step ahead. I'll continue with it, even if it's just yourself. But you get the odd one come a little bit late and wondering why they miss out. But I don't know what to say. What can one do? Can't help oneself. I can't help. As always, you can unmute and chit chat if you like. Okay, well, I just normally start at 9, but I don't see why. I hope you're there. Can you hear me all right? Can you just make sure you can hear me, tap it out or unmute? Morning. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me to make sure? Can you hear me okay? Jonathan, can you hear me? Hello? Okay, well, it's not much point if you can't hear me. Can you hear me now? Just important, because there's no point in me rabbiting on and showing how this works if you can't hear me. Just tell me when you can. I'll just hang 5. And just say you can unmute. I've unmuted, so you can chit chat. We can verbalize, okay? Because nobody else seems to want to join, so scary shit. Any better yet? I'm saying I'm speaking at the moment. I'm speaking, I'm testing, I'm speaking. I'm speaking now. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Testing, testing. Best thing you can do is you speak. You speak. And I'll see if I can hear you. Which I can't at the moment.
Yes, I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Okay, well done. Okay, right. Right, I'll start at the beginning. The idea behind this is vital, and it's supposed to start at 9. The only one that's joined. Now, be honest on that. I'll be honest. I sometimes get despaired. You know, we put them on. It's free. We try to help a person to trade successfully, and they can't attend a class. How can you come right? I mean, it's beyond me. But anyway, you've made the effort. Right, so I will continue, even though it's just yourself, at least some hopefully will benefit. Okay, just starting at the beginning, as mentioned, I'm qualified to advise. I don't normally do this. In fact, I probably won't be doing this again because we're not going to be doing Saturday morning anymore because of the lack of attendees. When I say lack, we normally get about 10 or 15, but or sometimes even less. It's just not worth the company's hassle if people don't want to come. It's like you don't want to go on stage and there's nobody there, or just a few people. Same sort of
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. That's agreeable.
That's agreeable, yeah. So we'll be doing classes, but during the week, not Saturday morning anymore. But you'll be notified. No problem. So just one, I can speak to you man to man. Okay.
That's fine. Pleasure to meet you, by the way.
Oh, yeah, great. I'll be doing all the speaking, as is my want. I used to be in sales, and I've never one for using 2 ears and 1 mouth. I'm just like most sales guys, usually the other way around. So I have sold the product. I've sold Market College, albeit quite a long time ago. Someone's joined us quite a long time ago, to be honest. But now I'm on the broking side. Okay, now why I'm having these lessons is because there's 2 things that contribute to the, I'd say 90%, as high as that, why people fail in this business. They buy the course and it's CETA, there's nothing wrong with the course. They buy it, they go through it, they do the modules, and then they come to actually doing the trading, they screw up. Now, why do they screw up? Is it because they're stupid? No. Lack of knowledge? No. It's for 2 reasons. One is a continual battle you have to work on. I'll come to that in a minute. But the first one, which we can talk about today, is not the correct volumes, not the correct position sizing. In other words, it's not budgeting properly. Now, you've got a salary of so much rands per month. You don't, and you're married, whether you are or not tonight. The purpose is you're married, right? And you get paid at the end of the month, and you rush out to the shop and you get some fancy computers and equipment and shit like that. And then you come home and wonder why you get a snot clock from your wife instead of a hug. Because now you can't pay the rent. Now you can't go out. Now you can't eat. You can't do anything because all the money was spent on that specific purchase when you went out on payday. So you wouldn't budget like that when you go to the shop. Why would you budget like business? The same principle. And it seems
exactly. It takes money to make money.
Well, absolutely. You've got to accumulate to speculate and all the other stuff. But the point is, we'll come to that in a minute. The point is, I can't overstate how vital it is to get that budget right. But it seems to be something I feel an impossible task. People still don't seem to get the hang of it. And that's when it comes back to bite. This is not an investment. I want to clarify this. This is speculation. Investments is when you go and buy a house or you buy some equity in the long term. This is leveraged instruments, which are speculative. The risk is high, but the return are extremely high. A lady the other day, overexposed, went in too big, and spoiled it all. When it came right for her, made literally 30% in one day. Now, of course, she's cock-a-hoop, over the moon. No investment can even think of delivering that. But I'm going to turn around and throw some cold water on it. No, nothing can continue at that pace. Otherwise, you would, by the end of the year, be richer than the Apple Corporation. You'd be richer than the entire African continent, maybe thrown in Europe put together. You cannot. So she got lucky. The next time she might not. Because she overexposed, she got lucky. You go in too big next time, then it might come back and bite you back to square one. I always say it's like going to Monte Casino, putting your house, wife, kids, dog, every bloody thing on red. And red comes back. All right, in the spin of a wheel, which is less than a minute, you've doubled your money. What a pleasure. So you leave it on there. Black comes up. Now you're homeless. What I'm trying to say is you've got to make sure your equity management's in place and your risk calculations in place and be disciplined on it. The other aspect is emotions. That is going to be forever an ongoing situation for most. Salesmen, unfortunately, are usually quite emotional animals. Successful ones are. So they've got to work a lot harder in their discipline than, let's say, an accountant or an actuary or something like that, or an engineer, because they're much more rational. But I don't care or who you are. Emotion plays a very big part when money's in trading. Money does play a part in the mind. That's why I say don't waste your time on demos. You take emotion out, you're not learning how to trade. But that's going to be a discipline for you to work on yourself. We're here to talk about position size calculator. Right, where do you get it? Right, sorry, welcome, Kamagela. Where do you get it? You can see it on my navigator there on the screen. It is quite simple. You do not get it on a phone. I'm going to say this. People who think they can make money in any business without the right equipment, with no knowledge and no money, they're living in cuckoo land. You don't need one or two of the three, you need all three. We'll start off with the equipment. A phone is great for when you're out and about to check your prices, to modify your stop loss, to close your position, or to open a new one. Great. But to try and strategize on the screen on the phone,
That's impossible.
I hate to say anything's impossible, but it's highly unlikely.
No, but if you're gonna do it on the fly when you're at work and on a mission, you're not gonna have your full attention at what you're doing.
Basically, yes, in a nutshell. Okay, so that's exactly it. So if you still have a phone and you must, whatever, then you can go to the App Store. But I'm talking about people with a laptop. I've got a monitor and a laptop. Let's start off with the monitor. That's down the line. So that's just by the by. Right, you go to the live chat. Where do you get the live chat? You know, but I mean, it is on the website, Quick Trade website, SMC website, and the portal. And then you go to technical support. Not me, I don't do it. Technical support. I'm going to tell you right now, I ain't a youngster. I might look 21. I promise you faithfully, that's never going to be seen again. Anyway, bottom line is, I'm not that tech savvy. I can do trading, but not tech savvy. That's why I get these youngsters, tech nerds, to do it for you, right? They're very good.
If you can't be strong, you got to be smart.
That's correct. That's exactly it. So what you do is you go to tech support on the live chat. Have your laptop, obviously have a laptop, you can go to tech support and ask them to get the exercise calculator onto your laptop, which they'll do, and there you can see it on the navigator. It is not difficult to operate, but it is vital. We're going to go into a pretend example trade now. Let's say we're going to buy it. So I'll put up, you see, you double click on it, and here it comes up. Now the market is closed at the weekend, so it's not going to see any movement. During the week, the market won't wait if it's moving all the time. The market is made up of, I'm not exaggerating here, guys, literally millions and millions of people. The retail market, that's you guys, have taken off unbelievably since COVID, because guys stuck at home, what are we going to do now? You can do this online, so you got into the trading business. There's millions of people, plus institutions, there's all sorts of areas. I'm not going to go into confuse you now, variables, hedging, and all that sort of thing. Now, when you've got millions of people trading, you have different personalities, different emotions, different cultures, different amounts of money, etc. So what happens, people get in and out of the market all the time, and that's what shifts the price. That price won't move because the shop is closed, clearly. But when people go in, you got what we call the noise, the up and the down, up and down. If you look at it on a second chart, up and down, people getting in and out all the time. We call that market noise. So you can't, this is the psychological part when you start. You get into a position and you get a signal and then you go in. Immediately you think we're gods and it'll go up in your favor straight away. Well, I hate to bring you back down to earth. I am not a god. I try to do my best, but I get it wrong like everybody else, number one. Number two, I can't pick that bottom. I'm going to say buy there and sell there. I don't know that. Only afterwards do I know it, you know. So if you go in there and it comes off a bit, you've got your strategy. You've worked it out from your position size and you live with it because you can afford it if it hits your stop loss. You know that if your stop loss is hit, it's only a small portion of your balance and you can take it because you know you're going to lose as well as win. It's like going to the casino and you go in with £1,000. I'll put the whole lot on straight away. You can if you like, suggest you don't. So you put in maybe 20 or 30 rand on. So if you do lose it, well, you've still got 900 odd rand. You get me a point here. I'll just fill out the obvious. So the point is you're going to get the ups and downs. And you just take a view and you stick with that strategy. You just don't go on emotion. It's going up, I'll buy it, going down, I'll buy it. It's a bit high, I'll sell it. A bit low, I'll buy it. You know, that's not the strategy. That's emotional. It'll come back and bite. Right. So these are stuff you'll pick up in the trading room. Once you know how to operate the platform and you know what a lot size is, you know what a CFD share is, you know what a commodity is, you know what an indices is and the difference between the two. You do basic trading. Have to do a hell of a lot. Just get the basics. Join me in the trading room, and then you'll start to learn the practicality. Great. Now, we're going to do a trade now. What you do, you can buy it or sell it. If you want to sell it, you click on there to short it. If you want to buy it, you click on there to long. Long buy, short sell, same thing. This is instant. You with me? Listen, this is instant, right? So this here will move with that price. Why is it not moving now? Because the market's closed. But if the market's moving, that'll move. So you don't have to touch that. That will move with the market price. It's done for you. So you put a stop loss in. So I'm going to put a stop loss in here. I don't always, but I normally use a daily chart for my strategy. I'm going to put the stop loss here. I don't want it too close or out the way. 40 pips is too close. I'll put it a little bit lower. Below this other one here, I'm just going to put it just down here. I work it out. Don't you worry about that. You will learn down the line how to do it. And even once you know how to put a stop, you get pretty good. Still be joining the trade room because we've got a lot of experienced guys there where we discuss new ideas, where you might miss something, I might miss something, we get it together. It's like a forum. It's like a community work together. So it's ongoing, whether you know a little bit, a lot, or a hell of a lot, okay? So put the stop loss down there. So I'm going to drag, you don't have to, you can price it in there or drag it down, either way. I'll drag it down just for the hell of it. Don't have to do that if you don't want. Right. Now I'm going to put the TP in now. I can't find a TP on there that's good, so get rid of this guy. This high here, will it work? I don't think it will. I want more than the 1.1 to 1.5 ratio. Is it going to work up there? It might just do it. Maybe we can try there. It might squeeze it. 1.1009. Just a second. Don't worry about how I'm doing it. You'll learn that down the line. This will be done for you. You'll get the signal for you. All I'm asking is know how to place it and work out your position size. You're going to get the entry. You're going to get the risk pointed out. You're going to the stop loss to be the whole friggin' lot. But if you can't work out the math from it and you can't even press the right button, you've got to question whether it's trading for you. It's trying to be harsh, but it worries me sometimes. Okay. You know, I want to be a doctor, but I can't read. You know, I mean, and maybe you should think about something else. You'd be surprised. You probably won't be in the business. But make this a little bit tighter. What the heck? That's still not going to work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the weekly and find slightly white. Is that going to work? Yeah, just works. You don't have to. It's your money. I'm suggesting a minimum of 1.5 risk reward. See, that figure's obviously got to be bigger than this. You want to risk. Okay. Hopefully that's obvious. That figure's got to be more than that for obvious reasons. You can get 2 to 1, 3 to 1, but if it's below 1.5, you're risking quite a lot to make a fairly small reward. Having said that, right, it might not get to target. A lot of guys think, oh, because I've said it, we just wait till it gets to target. No, it might not get there. So it doesn't mean to say if it doesn't get there, you might get out there or there if it starts coming off. Let's say it goes this far and comes off. You're not going to hold it, go back and stop you out and make a loss. You don't want to turn a winner into a loser. And that's another thing. Try and get a whole bloody dose, everybody pills for this, of common sense, because it doesn't seem to be much around. You've got to use a bit of common sense. You know what I mean? You don't want to go all the way about 10 meters short of the target and then come all the way back and get stopped out in the loss. So you can modify your stop loss. And sometimes you get you've risked 100, maybe only make 80, but never mind, you made 80. The point is you modify. You don't have to stand over it. I suggest you don't watch the prices all the time, but you just got to get an idea. You've got to check it now and again and modify accordingly and reduce risk. So I'm going to go back to the daily here. And you can see now on there, it tells you the risk is above 1.5 and it tells you the risk per 0.01. That's all you have to worry about. Right, now, unfortunately, a guy with less than 2,000 Rand can't take that trade because if you've got less than that, you're going to be overexposed. When you've got about 100 grand in your account, the normal risk is about 2% of balance. Maybe at 50, 2.5 to 3, 25, maybe 2 to 3, something like that, 3, maybe slightly more. I know when you start going to 10,000 Rand in your account, maybe 4%, 5, 6%, maybe at 5 grand. When you're below 3 grand or 2,500 Rand, 10%. Once you go over 10%, you're going to be horrendously overexposed. You get a trade wrong, you're stopped out, and you haven't got enough money left to trade. That's why I go on about people, you know already, Jonathan, but they start off with absolute peanuts, hoping to make some money. And that worries me, because common sodding sense should tell them you can't compete with bloody pick and pay. You've got a plastic table with a dozen eggs and one loaf of bread. Your investment. You can't. Your investment is peanuts, so you're going to make peanuts. And the guy said, the sales guy on his Instagram told me, I don't care if a salesman told a person, it frustrates me. Common sense should have told you that's BS. If you got squat, you're going to work very hard and make very little. It's as simple as that. And 90% of the time, you can't get into trade because you're overexposed. And then when you do, you're only in one trade, all your eggs in one basket. You can't diversify. Look at this. I've got 4 open trades. So if one goes wrong, the others will make up for it. But if I just go in one and it loses, now I'm in a worse situation than I started. So you've got to get the capital. Okay, right. So now you can't take it. So now you leave that trade. Now I'm going to get another one now. Where can we put this? We'll put this up to here. I will put this down to here, something like that. Okay. Where do we put the stop loss up to?
I've got a question quickly.
Just a second, just want to get this right. We're on the daily. Even that you can't trade. If you've got 1,000 rand, that's 11%. If you've got 500, it's 22%. So even on 500 rand, unless you're overexposed, you're prepared to do it. It's up to you. You get it a few times you can trade. Hope you understand my point. Okay, carry on. What do you say there?
Okay, the first thing is, like I said, I used to work for you guys at SMC. I was a salesman. And before that, I was at Diversity Smart Trade. They sold a similar platform. Now, they taught me a little trick based on a weekly chart. And I wonder if it's pertaining to this as well, how you can work it out according to this calculator and everything. They call it a 5-day prediction model.
Yeah, but okay, but if we're going to start talking about strategies, that's the trade room. This is to try to get through people who are complete novices. They've never sold the product. They've just started. They've just bought the course. And I'm here to emphasize basic stuff. That's getting the budget right. So
yeah, I'm just asking an information question. That's all.
Okay. Well, I prefer when we come to the trade, we discuss it there with everybody else, and then we can learn down the line. We're starting with step 1. We don't want to confuse new guys with step 2, and then you bewilder them. So let's stick to this size calculator. Just get this very simple basic across. You need knowledge, you need capital, you need the right equipment, and you've got to understand what you're prepared to risk for trade. So you don't overexpose, okay? You've got to keep free margin in your account. If you've got 10 grand in your account and you put 9,600 in the market, that leaves you 400 free margin. Now, you're going to get a margin call. Any movement against you is going to suck up that 400 rand, the noise up and down the markets, and you get margin call, and you're going to get your positions are going to be closed, whatever your stop loss is irrelevant, because you haven't got enough money, free margin to maintain it. So you've got to make sure you've got free margin and enough capital to go into the trade. Okay, so that's number 1. You can't, would you go trying to look to buy a car or a house if you got 1,000 rand in your pocket? Clearly you wouldn't. Same sort of principle. You need capital to do it. But being as it may, the advertisement says a minimum $10, try with that. Yeah, I mean, they can't see the concept. You might be able to get away, but you're wasting your time. Anyway, bottom line is, let's go back to the business size calculator. Let's try another one. Let's try, I'll tell you what's a better one we can try to give you an example for very small accounts. Because you can't trade, you can't on 500 rand, unless you want to, unless you're more money coming, but on the bounce of proper trading skills and principles, maximum 10%, it means you can't risk more than 50 bucks, 500 rand. So you're going to have to go to gold. Most Forex trades, you're not going to be able to get into. Otherwise, you're going to be overexposed and only one at a time. And don't come back, so increase the leverage. All you're doing is reducing deposits. You're going to go too big, and then you're going to get margin. You're wasting your time. But anyway, never mind. You'll learn that the hard way if you don't get it the concept straight away. We're going to go to gold. Right, that's a slightly different. What we're going to do, we're going to sell gold here. Right, let's make a sell. Let's make a change. We're in a long at the moment, and we're doing well on that, but we're going to do a sell just to make a change. It's all example to get the concept. You've got the position size calculator. You've gone to the live chat. You've gone to technical support. You've got it downloaded, and we're not going to buy it this time, or we're going to trade out to buy it, and it's doing well. But anyway, going in there, I'm going to short it. And where she put the stop? It's too tight. Maybe a $10 stop. So make it 1930. There we are. And where can we make the TP? We'll make it a straight 99. Simple as we're going to set it. Now, the beauty with this trade is because the contract size, we're going to technicals right now, is so small, 0.01 micro is only 20 rand risk. So guys with 500 Rand can go into that. Okay, so that's one thing you can trade is gold. Not all you can trade. If you go into Forex, you can, but most of the time you're horrendously overexposed. And if it goes wrong, you're going to either get margin called or you're going to have very little capital left. You know what I mean? And then you've got even less to play with. You've got to use some mathematical arithmetical common sense. And the problem, Don, I've read articles on this. The knowledge of maths in this country is below a lot of poor countries, not just compared to Singapore or whatever. A lot of other countries are poorer than this country. It's even lower. The maths is really lagging here. People are not getting basics. In fact, there's kids, apparently, so I'm reading Business Day, in privileged school kids who know more some of the teachers in the poorer areas. So, of course, and that's the trouble, is the blind leading the blind most of the time. So bottom line is, yeah, it's scary because you've got to have you've got to be able to read and write and have numerical literacy as well. If you've got to do percentage in that, well, you get a battle in life, never mind this. Okay, so bottom line is, it tells you the risk is over 1.5, no problem, there's 20 Rand. So now you decide you've got 10,000 Rand in your account and you decide you want to risk 600 Rand. You can risk more, but I'm suggesting that's the maximum. You divide 20 into 600 and that goes, what, 30 times, am I right? Yeah. So instead of going 0.01, what some idiots will do, which is crazy because you got 10 grand in your account, you divide that, that's why it's there for you, into 600. I can do it in my head, but you can use a calculator, that's not a problem. That's 30. So it's 30 micros. So you put it at 0.3. So you're going to have different position sizes. Look at mine. 0.1, 0.08, 0.12, 0.12, different position sizes. Two of the same instrument. I went in with this and then added to it when it was a little bit more. So a maximum 0.2, that's 20 micros. So it's different. Because depending where the stop loss is, that given the information, if that said 50 and I wanted to risk 600, I could only go 50 to 600. What's that? 12 times. I go a 0.12. At 20, I go 0.3. That's basic to me, arithmetical common sense. If you can't grasp that, this is going to be beyond you. Because trust me, derivative trading is a lot more complex and basic 10-year-old arithmetic, if you get my point. So I just want to make that, not being harsh and being straight. And most people feedback said are rather be harsh and straight and fluffy and flaky and BS. And then in the end, it comes back and bites. So yeah, I've been doing this for a while. I am qualified. I'm licensed to advise. And I very take seriously honesty, integrity, which is one of the exams that I take, and helping the clients. But I need the client to understand they've also got to help themselves. Help me to help you. Okay. Right. Moving on. That's how the position size calculator works. Once it's loaded on there, you'll get the signal, you put the stop loss in, you put the TP in, and it gives you the risk and the risk per micro. Then you've got to be able to place the trade. This is not platform trading today. This is purely to teach you how to operate this particular instrument. During the week, there'll be class on platform trading, but it's vital. If you don't get this budget right, guys, you will, as they say in the UK, lose your shirt. I'm going to take more vulgarly. You'll see your financial ass. You know what I mean? Sorry, but yeah. I always say, seeing your ass is not a very good thing to say because you're something like Liz Hurley. I wouldn't mind seeing my ass, but I don't want to see mine because I hate Liz Hurley. But joking apart, you need to get this budget right. If you don't budget properly, it's gonna come back. And don't think, oh, I put in too big and I made a lot of money, I'll do it again. Next time you might not get so lucky. Always remember, there's millions of people trading and we take a viewpoint. They've been pretty good so far, but you're going to make losses. It is a fact. There's no way to get around it. You can't get it right every time. There's too many variables out there. So you've got to protect yourself. You don't want to go all in, and that's the one that doesn't come right for you. Okay. How's it, Chris? How's it? Okay. Chris goes to trading quite a lot. Donna said there's been a few guys just been joining me here. He was on at 9, and I'm just saying that once he's got some background knowledge, he's coming back into it, and he's going to be joining us hopefully soon in the trading room. Chris is a regular in there, and I'm glad he joined because I think Chris does believe the trading room works quite well. So it's not just me trying to sell you a product; it's him as a trader. Hopefully, will back it up. But if you don't like it, I mean, I have no problem with that. Rather be honest with the guy and not say it's rubbish. So it's great when it's rubbish or whatever. Try to be honest, and then we can help each other. There's too much spin and BS in the world. Let's try and keep it on a straight plane. And if you don't like saying, I'm being smart ass here. If you don't like saying bullshit, think it's rude, say bovine excrement. There you are. There's
Toilet treasure. Toilet
You like
treasure.
just be smart ass there. Okay, right. Yeah. Any questions on what I've said so far before we go to the next step? And that's another problem.
No,
Okay.
I've got no problems at the moment. Just
Yeah, I know.
I'm just trying to take it in all of it at once.
Okay, fine. Take notes, bring a piece of paper, take notes. Right, anybody else? Okay. Chris, I think goes a fair bit. Kamagola, Marianne, Ruth, William. Another problem we have, that's where we're stopping Saturday going forward classes, because not very few people seem to join it. They don't interact. If you don't interact, I don't know whether you know or don't know. You know, it's shy or whatever. So you've got to interact. It's no good just sitting at the screen looking at it and hope it's all going to flow in. We're not computers, you can't just download it. So you need to interact. And if you don't know, say so, and then we can clarify the problem. You sit there and on the off chance going to fall into your lap, sorry, it's not going to happen that way. So please, anything you'd like to go over before I go to the next step? Are we clear on this?
I'm clear at the moment, yes.
Good. It's quite straightforward. I do it every day, Chris. Don't see why you're here, actually. You won't certainly know it. It's nothing to do with anything else. Just teach you how this thing works. You have it there. You put your stop loss TP in a normal way. Gives you a risk over 1.5 per micro. You divide it into what you prepare to risk. You know, let's say it's 20 rand or whatever, and that gives you position size. Simple as that. Okay. Right. Now, you can put a pending order in as well. Let's say you want to buy gold. We're going to change our mind here. We're going to buy gold. You want to buy gold, not at 1919, but you want to buy it at 1910. Make it 1915. What the hell? You want to buy it 1915, and you want to have a stop loss at just a bit closer. I'll make it 1905, and we'll put the stop loss in at 19. I don't know, 40. There, a nice big one. That's a bit too big. It's a nice big risk reward at 2.5. Okay, right. So what is it? Yeah, 20 bucks. Maybe bigger. Let's make it a wider stop. 1900. Should make it 1895. There we are. Wider stop. Now that's not going to work. So we're going to put a slightly. Remember, I'm playing around figures to show how it works. I don't work out a TP and stop loss like this normally. It's not a sum suck. They're the reasons why I put them there. Okay. Okay, right. So that's good. The risk is above there. Right. Call that 40 rand to make your life easier. When you do a calculator, you can divide it. It's easier. To make my life easier, call it 40 rand a micro. So if you want to risk 600 rand, divide it by 40. You're not going to put 0.3 in the last trade. You're going to put 0.15. Okay, because you divide 40 to 600, comes 15 times, 0.15. Okay, now that would be your strategy, and that's a pending order. But if you place that pending order, you're not in the market, it's a pending order. You're only in if the price comes back to 1915. We call that meaning your order is now filled. Now you're not in a market with a pending order. If it doesn't come back to 1915, you're not in the market, you delete your pending order and go on and look at something else. So sometimes it does shoot off, you're not on board with a pending order, tough shit. Sorry about that, tough luck. You know what I'm saying? But that's the risk you take. You want to get a better price, you don't get it. So sometimes you can, you know, just say, right, I'm going to market anyway, just in case it doesn't pull back or whatever. But that's your choice. Sometimes you get a trade put out and say, buy gold at 1915. You see the price at 1916, no problem. If it's 1914, it's clearly a better price. So obviously you go in with pleasure, you're getting a better price. But let's say it's 1922. I have an expression, say the ship has sailed. It's too far away. Either you miss the trade, you don't want to be chasing it, or just hope it pulls back, because it goes up and down. It might pull back to get an entry. But if it says 1915 and you go in at ignore the stop limit, don't worry about that, and you go in, it's 1920, your risk reward is all up to cut. You get my point. Before it was over 2, now it's below 1.5. So you can't chase it. So you've got to read the signal, understand the position size calculator, and have enough sort of common sense to realize the ship has sailed, or I can still get it, or it's a better price. You know, I want to buy a house for $1 million. If it's at the mark 950, what a pleasure. If it's 1,020,000 rand, not a problem. but it's gone up to 1.2 million. Hang on a minute. No, I'll wait to see if you can get a better price, or I'll go and look at another house. This in theory should be common sense. So just work on that basis and look at the signal. Just don't dive in willy-nilly, just check it out and then work out the correct volumes and away you go. And the calculator does it for you. Okay. And you've got to work out your volumes and what you're prepared to risk. That's simple as that. That's how you do it. No more, no less. Okay. Any questions?
None so far.
Good.
It looks very easy.
Yeah, it is easy, but easy for people sort of take the trouble to listen, take a couple of notes and interact. But people don't say anything, and I don't know if they know or not. And then they come back in a live chat and wonder why they got margin call. And because they didn't understand the calculations, what's involved, but they're trading. It's like trying to drive, you know what a brake is or what a gear lever is. You got to understand what a margin call is in leverage trading. And that's what they teach when you buy the course. But it's no good buying the course, you don't look at it, you don't go to classes and then start trading. Well, it's blindly obvious, but none of maybe people don't get it. Anyway, whatever. That's another story. Okay, yeah. So anybody not understand? Because if you came in late, I have no problem. It doesn't take long. I can go through it again. Still not sure, we'll do it again. That's what the class is for.
No, I've got no questions. I'll see how you work out your risk and your stop.
Okay, as long as you do with position sizing. I'm not going to talk about trading. That's for the trading room. This is purely to get people to understand the concept. They've got a budget. They've got to get these volumes right. Because this is without doubt the biggest problem is occurring with the trading community. They're buying the course, they're doing the study, they're learning the stuff, and then they don't get the idea about correct volumes and don't do that correctly. And it comes back to bites to get margin call because they don't understand they haven't got enough funds to maintain the open position. And then they wonder why the position was closed and the stop loss was here. There's a stop loss, and they're kicked out here because they haven't got enough margin because they went in too big, they didn't get it correct. Remember, the derivatives is where you put a deposit down. Don't forget that. So if you put a deposit down, there's a balance. Right, and the balance means you're being lent the rest of the money. That's what the swap fees are. So what the deposit is collateral. You know, you don't just say, I'll tell you what, mate, I think I'll buy that car. What's it, 5,000 rand a month? No deposit and off you trot. Well, no, but you know, who's going to lend you on that basis? It's too much risk to lend. They want a good faith deposit margin, same thing, as a collateral that you're going to, if the trade goes wrong, they can close it. And they're not going to lose their money. They're lending to you. They're not taking a risk because they're only after the interest rate. You're the one taking the risk because the interest rate return is not high enough. You get the point. So if you don't have any collateral, they'll close that trade. So if you go in now and you've got 1,000 in your account and you risk 900 on the trade, it's a big position. The noise goes up and down and it comes back from 1920 to 1918. Your fruit margins run out. Your margin levels drop down 80%. That position be closed. I don't care if your stop loss is at 1900, 1895, 1880, it's irrelevant. If you don't have enough margin, you have no collateral, it will be margin. These basics got to be learned because it happens all the time. And that's why people going with peanuts amounts of money, go on a 5-1-1 leverage, don't understand, and overexposed, and then they start getting upset, calling us up and saying you closed it, you scammers, why is that? Not scammers. I'm going to use some common sense. It costs millions to get an ODP license to become a financial service provider. It's a large company. Are we going to risk all that to take you off 100 rand? I mean, for goodness sake.
No,
you know,
no.
Basic common sense. And it worries me, some of the future of this country, when if that is not completely blindly, obviously apparent, it's a worry. I'm sorry to be harsh, but it is. Because if you can't hack that, how the hell can you survive in today's world? You know, it's common sense. So, you know, you've got to give something to get something in return. If you don't give squat, you're going to get squat. Simple as that. The concept seems to be like almost like Einstein's law, you know? Okay.
No, but the reason, it's like I told you yesterday, they told me in one of the live chats, at least a minimum 500 rand. Okay, I said 500 rand. And that's what I put in. It's not because I want to make money off that 500 rand. I want to actually use that. I'm going to add to it later this month on the 15th. Don't worry about it. But it's for me a learning curve. I want to play around and see what it does. And like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
just explained it, it's so simple and easy just to work the calculator.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely, exactly. That's what it's for. It's been given. It's free of charge, put together, bought from somebody to help people make use of it. Absolutely. Now, I'm going to be honest, guys. I don't dominate by one person because other people, I want to bring them into it as well. But the point I'm trying to get across here, I have absolutely no problem somebody to test this out. There's a lot of scammers out there. Anyone living in Joburg will be more than aware of that. There's a lot of cowboy outfits out there. I understand that completely. There's no problem with that. Not everyone's a millionaire. There's no problem with that at all. What I have a problem with is somebody comes along with no idea, no knowledge, no equipment, no money, and expects to make a lot of money. It's like, I've got this broken old bicycle. I'm entering into a Formula One race, and I'm hoping to beat Hamilton and Verstappen and the Formula One drivers in their Formula One cars. You get the point. That's gone beyond frustration. Quite frankly, it irritates me because it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. If you don't have any idea, I mean, you know, it's just ridiculous. And it's just what you expect. And they say, oh, well, I saw it on YouTube or something. Well, I tell you, I saw on YouTube, I pop this pill, I'll run faster than a cheetah. I have my doubts that that is correct. You get my point. Yeah.
I get it.
It's just using it becomes it. And the major problem with humanity, I've been around for a while, is this continual looking for no-brainer, something for nothing. That's why the lottery is often told a tax on the poor. Because they think that little 10 rand, or I haven't done a lottery in years, what it costs, it used to be $7. But anyway, whatever it costs, 10 rand, it's going to make them 40 million. They get quite disappointed they don't win. And it's a worry. It's just lack of education, understanding a very basic principle you've got to give to get something. In fact, a guy called Zig Ziglar once said, I'm not very fond of all these slogans they throw out today. Most of them sound good, but never implemented. This one that did stick with me is, if you help others to get what they want, you will get what you want. And people don't seem to get that concept. I want you to buy this off me, by the way, guys, because if you do, I'll win a trip to Mauritius. Without thinking, does anybody there buy a product? I will win a trip to Mauritius. Clearly not. They buy a product because they want it and it's perceived as good value. If you can provide a product that's good value at the price they can afford, they'll want it. And because they want it, you'll get what you want to sell. You see my point. And that's why I go on about position sizing, the discipline that goes with it, getting the knowledge, putting the hard yards in. It gets a lot easier. I've been doing this for a while, it gets a lot easier. I can look at a chart now and with a microsecond, I can see really whether we're going to go anywhere with it. That's just practice. But you had to put the hard yards in. You need to attend classes. You need to do the hard yards in the beginning. You need to get the knowledge. You need the capital, as mentioned several times, and of course you need the equipment, knowledge, and capital. And you've got all three. If you take one out of the whole thing, house of cards will fall. I've got fantastic knowledge. I've got the best equipment in the world. I've got no money. We can't place a trade. I've got a hell of brilliant equipment. I've got millions in my balance, but I've no idea what I'm doing. All I'm going to do is lose more than the guy with little money, because just putting more money ain't going to make it for you. You still got to understand why, where, and what. So that is the discipline you need, and position size is an absolute vital part of it. You know, Chris, you go to the trading room. I go on about it like every single time. There's a bit more to it. You'll learn the trading room. Come and join me. But if you can't get this right, you're going to see your financial backside. I'll tell you right now. Are we all clear on that? Do you understand? Anything you've missed you want me to go over again? Please say so. But you've got to get this right. I've recorded it. So if you're still not sure, it's recorded on the social media. Sorry, not it's so. Go to the portal. Go to social media on the portals on YouTube. And so the trading room all recorded there. But get that trading room. Of course, it's better to interact, but it's helpful. But this is a vital part. Hey, Chris, you're in the trading room a lot of times. I go on about a hell of a lot now. Actually, a very good point there. Now, that's a good bloody point, mate. Just give me a second. Just give me a second. I'll give you the link now. Hang on.
Yeah, thanks, Roger. Trading room is awesome.
Yeah. There you are. I didn't pay him to say that, I promise. This is where you learn your stuff. Just a second. Let's see where we got.
Yeah, but I once sat in your trading room in the head office, so yeah, I know what it's like.
Yeah. Well, it's frustrating because you want to help people, but they've got to help themselves, if you see what I mean. They've got to be prepared to help themselves. That is absolutely vital. Just a sec, give me a second, I'll copy and paste it for you guys. I'll do something else, I'm going to give him a number as well. Now, there's only one codicil if I give him a number, one caveat. You've got to be young, rich, beautiful, own a Porsche, and love old men, bald old men. Just joking, guys, just joking.
Oh, that's well put.
All this waffle. Now that is waffle. Yeah, some is useful waffle, whereas a lot of times it ain't useful waffle. That's complete, totally useless waffle. Anyway, seriously, Roger, to put this down here. I hope you like a bit of fun, a bit of banter. I quite like it anyway. No offense caused, just a bit of fun. And I often take the mickey out of myself as well.
Roger, can I ask something? On your trading platform at the top, you got a little red block there that says algo trading. When you open your position size calculator, it does.
Oh, okay. I've never played with this. We don't.
Is that if you've got various algorithms and things?
That's correct. Algo trading is like robots. We don't use them. Forget about it.
Oh, okay.
I'd rather you. Trouble is, again, we go back to this robot thing is as well. It's again, to me, it's robbing the poor. Guys who are battling, number one. Number two, they don't have enough capital, not enough knowledge, don't want to bother to get the knowledge, think they're going to have an easy, no-brainer way out. The Holy Grail, no effort, no nothing, money pours in, they try the robots. The trouble is the robots, you need to have a decent capital to go for the drawdown. And because they don't understand, they can't think, they just work on lagging, indicators. They don't know the non-farm payrolls, the job reports coming out, CPI's coming out, whatever. They don't know that, and so you need drawdowns, etc. That is not the answer. Me, quite frankly, the answer is make the effort so you're in control. You know the stuff. You know that biblical saying: "Learn how to fish, and teach someone how to fish rather than fish for them," or whatever it goes. If you continue relying on somebody else to fish for you, if that person jumps off the, drops dead or whatever, then you're going to starve to death. So rather learn, they can learn with it. You're in control yourself, basically. And the whole idea of you buying a course, joining trading, so you're in control. You'll still have your fellow trader term, that's ongoing completely, but we can share ideas, but you try to get away from people relying on somebody else. And a large amount of people just blindly follow the signals without knowing why modifying stock or whatever. And you question, if that's the case, they're free anyway, why buy the course? What's the point? You're not going to learn why. The whole idea is so you know why. Some signals you get to know, I like Roger, but I won't agree with that. I think it's a short, not a long, or I'll miss that one, I'll take that one. That's the idea is it's a trading idea. The signal's not guaranteed to help you along. Look into it. You might not like it, then leave it. It's not something I'll follow blindly. If it goes wrong, I'll blame somebody else. That means you're not in control. So the concept of people taking personal responsibility of their financial life, getting control, and that's where you get the winners.
Thanks, Roger.
Yes.
Got it, thanks.
I know you have, but I'm trying to get other people to get it because it'll help them out of a lot of people in poverty. And quite frankly, a lot of it is not the government's fault, it's their own fault because they don't learn to help themselves. Question, put that extra mile in, and that's where it is. Because I came to this late in life. I was in the Merchant Navy. And I was made redundant. So not many navigating jobs on ships. Oh, clearly came this late, but I thought to stick it out. And remember, when I started, none of this. I had to work out the hardware. No one to speak to, and everyone I did knew sod all. It was a blind leading the blind. A lot simpler today. Guys are selling this without knowing too much of what they're selling. You know a little bit there, Donna, but you probably know when you're selling. You're at that clue yourself. So I was speaking to people, and they didn't know. And they don't say they don't know. They make up a story. So I had to wind through all that, and I'm just putting experience in here to help people to do it properly. And once you do it properly, I win, you win, we all win. Okay. Okay, I've already got the stay. I'll see you probably Monday when you can make it, Chris. Okay, guys. Any questions on the calculator? If you missed something, I can go over it again. I can do another trade with you just to make sure you've got the hang of it.
Oh, well, please do. So that other people's make sure they know.
Okay, right. You go to the portal, or and you go to go to the portal or Stock Market College website, or you go to the Quick Trade website, and you go to the live chat in the bottom right-hand corner, and you go not to trade support, you go to technical support with your laptop. It's not for the phone, it's for the laptop. Right, and you say, please assist me to download my position size calculator. Right, they'll do that. You'll have your navigator there. You get in, I'm not here to platform, so you get that platform training, but we'll show you where to get the navigator. Go to view, go to navigator, and then navigator. Anyway, they will download it, and there it is. So now we're going to go and do a trade. GBP CHF, or I'm already in that trade. So just hide all that crap. Well, I guess you use it. I didn't use it. Yeah. So you're going to take this trade. Well, you can't take it now. I got in there. That's the GBP CHF. It's too late to get in there. Okay. But let's say we're going to go in there. So you're going to put your position size by double click on there. Right. What you do then is I'm going to change that from a long to a short because I want to sell it. I'm going to change from instant to pending because I'm going to, for this example, put it back to where I entered. And I entered a what price? Tell you right now, 1.1388. So I'm going to put in 1.1388. Don't worry about the one. This figure here is a point. 10 points, 1 pip. The only reason you use a point is if you've got an enormous account. It counts. If you've got 50 million rand in your account, the point counts. But if you've got a few thousand in, it's irrelevant. So we look for pips. So I don't worry about the point. Right, stop loss. We'll use the same stop loss, which is 1.1451. And then I put the TP in, which you'll get on the signal, by the way. Just fill in the missing things, no problem. 1.1285, 1.1285. And I find a blank area here to left click on, bang. Now that's above 1.5. Below it, you're risking, reward is not that high compared to what you're prepared to risk. It's above 1.5, which that clearly is. And then you'll see, we call it a micro. 0.01 is a micro, 0.1 is a mini, 1.0 is a one standard lot. But you should learn all that in the class before you tend to trade them, and basically before you trade anyway. So it's per micro, 130 bucks. Call it 130 round figure. So now you've got 500 rand, you can't trade it. 26% of 500 rand is 130. You're overexposed. If you go in at 1,000 rand, what's the thousand? That's 13%. It's above 10%. You're overexposed. You got 1,500 rand. Yeah, I can trade that because it's below 10% risk. I can trade it. However, no, Jonathan has suddenly come into a lot of money. His ex-wife, sorry, Don, I'm picking on you there, suddenly says, on the lottery, I've made a mistake. I love you so much. I should never have run away with my secretary or health secretary or with a whatever. I'm just joking here. Here's 20,000 rand. Thank you very much. Well, you're not going to go at 0.01. You've got 20 grand. What do you want to risk on 20 grand? Well, what's 10%? That's too high. You start reducing your risk levels 5% to 1,000. You might say, I'll risk 4%, which is what, about 800 rand, 800 to 1,000 rand. But you feel lucky, punk, like Kandipa said. Do you feel lucky, punk, or do you? Yeah, well, you feel lucky, so you're going to risk 1,000 rand. So you put 130 into 1,000 rand. I'll do it off the top of my head. It's about 8. 8, is that right? 8 to that's about 8. It's just over 8. We'll call it 8. Therefore, you go in 0.08. If you feel that's a bit hectic, it's gone over your 1,000 rand, you put in 0.07. But what Donaldson didn't know, the wife came back to him, won all this money, just bunged in 100,000, didn't tell him about this, and she changed her name, so won't recognize it, to Jane Smith. She got 100 grand in there. Right, she wants to risk a bit more. She's going to risk 2,000 rand. Well, 2,000 rand, divide that in, is about 1.5, 15 times. She'd go in 0.15. You see the point? Now, she's gone down to 2% risk.
As hulle kruis is gekeus.
And the beauty
Karak het nie van jou getraai keus.
Hang on, shush.
Karak is dit nie nooit gebeur.
I'm just going to have to mute you all. Now, what I'm trying to get across, guys, right, the guy's got 100 grand, can diversify like I've done more trades, go a smaller percentage risk. A guy with 1,000 rand can go in one trade at a time. Most of the trades they can't because they're overexposed. And instead of using 2% risk, they use 10% because they don't have enough funds to go to 2%. They'd never trade. That's the whole point. It's not me saying put more money because I'm trying to bloody get money off you. It's to use some common sense to say, you're trying to fight a war with a pea shooter and the other guy's got a tank. I'm trying to make that understood. So if you're going to war with a spear against machine guns, not much chance. You get the idea. This is a $1 trillion, not billion, $1 trillion daily traded. The forex trades us $7 to $10 trillion a day. It is astronomically large. US, not rand, dollars worldwide. And you want to attack that market. And remember, it's a zero-sum game. If you lose 10 rand, someone else has won it. Now, who's like to win it? The guys take the trouble to go to classes, get some knowledge, etc., or the guy doesn't bother and hopes for the best. You get the point. So learn how to do any skill properly, and you get better. You don't pay Tiger Woods more than me. I can play golf, and so can Tiger Woods. Why does he get more? Because his skill's better. Similar principle. Working it, we will help you, but we've got to get the basic concept. It's not about thumb suck. It's about learning the stuff. The rewards are phenomenal. Changed my life. I used to be a merchant after I came in late. Changed my life. Can work anywhere in the world. Work from home. If you want to go down to Joburg, if you want to go down to Cape Town or Durban or go to Limpopo or wherever, go overseas if you want. As long as you've got internet connection, you got your laptop, you got your Wi-Fi, and you got your knowledge and whatever, you can do it. You're 90 years of age. You're not gaga, but you're bedridden. All you need there is your laptop and you can still work. You're not worried about unemployment. You're not worried the market goes up or down. Bad news comes in, you sell short. Good news, you buy long. You've got the assistance, you've got the signals, you've got the trading room, you've got advice. Have you got my number now? You can phone, not phone, sorry, you can WhatsApp for advice. I'm thinking the euro dollar. Should I? What do you think? I'm thinking of modifying my stop loss. What do you think? I'm thinking of closing it. What do you think? You get the idea. The only thing I do ask, if you got on a demo, please don't contact me. I can't help you on that. And if you got 200 rand or so in your account, you won't get signals, and I can't. It costs me, the company, more money to pay me to look after a guy there than they can ever get from your brokerage generated by that kind of money. It's against the bean count. It's not worth it. It's like getting a car and driving to pick up a Mars bar in Bloemfontein. It's not worth it. So if you've got a funded account, I want to come to my VIP group where you get daily morning updates. You get various aspects posted to you and signals fresh off the press. But you will need a minimum of 2,500 rand or $150 because you'll have enough money to take the signals. It's not being a snotty, that guy's got 10 and he's got 50, it's unfair. No, it's no point getting extra signals. You haven't got the money to take advantage. It's like going and looking at a Ferrari. If you got 10,000 rand, you waste the salesman's time your own because you won't be able to buy it. So you've got to have at least 2.5, preferably more, or $150, and then you'll be able to take the signals. You get 2 or 3, you've got enough money to be able to take them. You get the idea. Diversify and not have all your eggs in one basket, but please be disciplined on that position size, and the calculator does it for you. Get that sorted, that concept sorted, and that will solve you, I promise you, a lot more trading success than hours in classes, and books, and reading, and research, and YouTube, and Instagram, and Facebook, and all that. That is the basics, that discipline, and I promise you, it will help you enormously. Any questions? I really enjoy the job. I really enjoy what I'm doing. I can work from home, it's freedom, and I quite enjoy working with the guys who want to help themselves. I will help you to help yourself, but you've got to be able to help as well. Don't wait for me to call you. Doctor ain't call me to say, are you okay? Doctor waits for me to call, say, sorry, doctor, I'm sick. So keep in touch, and please put funded accounts. I can't spend an hour on Zoom with a guy with 400 rand their account because it'll cost more money to the company to pay me to do a Zoom with you than I'll ever generate from the balance of that minuscule size. So you've got a little bit of common sense got to come into it. But we can work together, okay, and then I will help you as long as you're disciplined. And don't expect to build Rome in one day. Never mind what you read somewhere else. Well, give it a chance. And another one little tips you get in the trading as well as calculators, give the strategy and the trade a chance. A lot of people take the profit too quick, panic and see a bit of a loss, they're completely panicked. Normally I'm trading, what I do is I reduce this out of the way. I don't like staring at it all the time. Affects and plays with your mind. You got your strategy, let it run. Occasionally check it if you want to modify stop loss into a profit. What do I mean by that? Let's have a look. You see that I went in with a very different stop loss entered. Now the price went in my direction and I've modified it to this figure here. You see that figure now sold short is below entry or better than entry. So if that goes wrong on Monday and comes back to stops me out, I'll still make a profit. So if it hits my TP, I'll make a big profit. If it hits that one, I'll still make a profit, a smaller one. If it continues down, I'll continue to modify it. So I'll either get stepped out. If it gets near the TP, it's looking good, I'll modify the TP down, modify my stop to get stopped out. These strategies you learn in the trading room, and these things will get trading aside. And because I know for a fact most of our clients do not attend the classes, and that's why we cancel on the Saturday, not enough attendance, and they're still trading, but it's trading with pure basic emotion, hoping something for nothing. And they often can, sometimes they get lucky, to be fair, but often it's disappointing. You will not be a doctor or a surgeon without doing a few classes and learning a bit about it. And certainly not coming in with me with a scalpel to learn appendicitis or something like that. If you haven't even looked at the 3-day training, never mind the years goes into it. Any questions, guys? Have you all got the idea? Any questions? Anything you want to go over? I enjoy this. I'm enjoying this. I just want to make sure you're getting benefit and value from it. Jock, any idea? All good. What am I looking at for? Okay, good. Okay, great. Platform training is done. 70 here. By the way, here's a little tip, by the way. Save it, go to charts. Once it's set up after platform training, go there, save the template, and put your name in there and save it. So, because I lost it, I don't know what happened there. But anyway, all I do now is I go to the templates, and I'm going to go back, and I go there, and it's all back up and running. Okay, so these things you learn the platform trading. I'll go through them again in there. The trading room, by the way, is a trading room. You learn strategies, we go through the fundamentals, etc. It's not a training room. If you come in and say, I've never seen trading before, I haven't got enough money to buy a course, talk about indicators, what's a Bollinger Band, what's a pip, what's a stop loss, what's that green thing there, what's the lot size, what's that? No, you do the classes for that. You've got to have a basics, just the basics. You've got to be able to change gear in the car before you get out and do a little bit of a drive, you know what I mean? Okay, so you're all good, Jack. Any questions, guys? Anything you're not quite sure about? Because this is what this is for. If once you learn now, you go to the next step. You have to go and go back and record. It's a bit of a pain. So now you've got the opportunity. Take the trouble out on a Saturday morning. Thank you very much. Great stuff. Okay, just go over it again. Don't be nervous. Type it out if you don't want to speak. I'll mute you all. There's a bit of background noise there. I'll unmute if you want to speak. If you're a bit shy, tap out your question. We'll do it. I want to make sure the attendees that came in here have got the basic understanding of the concept of how important it is to get the position size right and know how to do it. And it's not, as you can see, that complicated. Most of it isn't. Most of the, unfortunately, economists like to baffle you with fancy jargon to make themselves clever and keep you out of the loop. No, it's not. I try and use bullet points to get the concept. And it rules your life. Money rules your life. Crime, what's 95%? Some of it's a crime of passion again. But 9% look for motives, money somewhere. Divorce is usually money somewhere. Money it drives our lives. And it astounds me how few people on planet Earth seem to understand the basics of it. So if nothing else, you at least learn a bit how money works. It drives your life, you know what I mean? Hey, ladies, hey, I tell you what always amused me. The two things that most human beings want the most is the opposite sex and money. And both categories seem to be the area where they know the least about. Hey, true, eh? How many men can call themselves experts in the opposite sex or on money? But that seems to be the driving force in our lives. So I'm not sure I'm too jacked up and giving a lecture on the opposite sex, but certainly try and learn a bit of the basics of how money works around the world, especially sloshes around the world through the internet. Okay, so we're all good, guys. No questions. You understand how to operate the position size calculator and where to get it. Is that correct? Any no's there? Any yeses? Anything? Apart from silence. Good, Camagello. Anybody else? Jart's good. What about you, Mr. John Fred? I think that sounds like a Zimbabwe name. Hope I'm getting my knowledge right. Marianne, Peloso, Ruth, you're good. I know you are, Jonathan. I'm trying to get some of the others to interact and see if they're getting the picture. Ruth, anybody else? Are you good? Yes or no? It's not difficult to type it out. A lot easier doing that than trading. You're good. John, you're good. Fine. Don't forget trading room. Once you got the basics, learn. If you don't, you cut out a lot of the stuff we can control. I cannot control the market price, the price action we call it. That's up to the market. But we can iron out some mistakes people continue making. They're not that difficult. So at least it will, it's horrible to lose on a mistake you make, which you can control. Market does really matter. If the market suddenly goes against me, I go on short, it jumps up. I can't control that, but I want to get the stuff I can control in order. Okay, guys, you all seem to be good. There's no no's out there. So I presume you've all got the crap. Fantastic. If you haven't done platform training, it's on during the week. I don't do that. I'm only fitting in today, to be honest, because one of the other guys can't make it. So attend the platform training and calculate done during the week as well, 6:30 in the evenings. They're free. The not CFD, the Forex and other stuff anyway. It's only done for people who bought the SMC course. So you'll have a separate Zoom ID for that. That'll be done in class, obviously, leaving Monday to Thursday going forward. And the trainings every morning, Monday to Friday. And I will be doing, it's a bit ahead of the game now, but for those down the line, I'll be doing a straddle trade on the important fundamental coming out Friday. So as soon as you get the class, you get an idea, got some money in your account, got to have money, otherwise you can't join it. The straddle session, if you want to take a trade. As soon as you got that, it'll be informed of it in the trading room, etc. And then maybe we can do a 2 o'clock Friday afternoon straddle trade. Often is a very quick, easy way to make a couple of bucks. So get your knowledge there and I'll help you through that. Okay, guys. Mozambique, of course, yes, it's Mozambique. Please beg your pardon. That's right. Bring there as well, you know that. Yes, it's right. It's Mozambique. That's correct. Sorry about that. Okay, well, obviously your English is pretty good. If you understood the speed I was speaking at, that's brilliant. I keep forgetting it's my language, and I speak at a rate of knots, and no wonder people get a bit confused. I do beg your pardon. Thanks for the reminder there, John. Yeah. Okay, guys. Hope to catch you soon in the trading room. I hope to assist you. You got my number for advice, etc. Learn the platform, so now modify, place orders, and you'll get the signals accordingly. If you've got less than 500, you won't get signals because you don't really have enough money to do it. Try and get a funded account to do it properly. You don't want to go one trade at a time because you're always one basket. The only way you can do that is diversify. To do that, you will need some capital. You don't have to have a lot, but you do need some. Okay. It's like going shopping with £5 and pick and pay, but limited what you can do with it. Okay. Hope all clear. Here to help and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Cheers, guys. I hope it had value as well. Cheers. You're quite young, eh, Jonathan? A lot younger than I thought. I assumed you were a little bit older. I thought you were in your 40s. Okay. You're a youngster, man. Oh, well, you got your whole future. You should be fine.
No, I'm 37 actually. I turned 37 last week.
Oh, right. Sorry, I thought you was like.
If you're going to look closer, I'm actually graying.
Yeah. At least you got hair.
It is still full.
Yeah, well, lucky you. I went to the barber the other day. Said, don't cut all off. Leave me a few strands to get some business next time. Cheers, guys.
Yeah, cheers and enjoy your day. See you next week.